Hi guys, I'm back to do another book review for you. This book review is on Things I Should Have Said by Jamie Lynn Spears. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. When I first heard that she was writing a book a year or two ago when it was first announced, I was so excited. I was so looking forward to reading this. I couldn't have been more excited. It's not that I had any problems with this book. I kind of all the reviews that were coming out about it, there were mixed reviews on it, but the one thing that kind of made it unexciting for me to read was all the stuff Britney Spears was saying, that she was using her to get books, to get money off of it. She does talk a lot about Britney in this book and growing up with Britney Spears as her sister. She talks about Zoey 101 in it. She talks about her teen pregnancy. She talks about a lot of stuff in it. So let me dive right in. It starts out with her growing up and talking about growing up in her hometown and what it was like as a kid growing up there. You just have to read the book to find out. But it was also interesting when she was growing up what it was like having her be the younger sister to Britney Spears. She talks more about Britney and her childhood experience, going on tour with Britney when she was a kid, how she's met so many people over the years because she went on tour with Britney a few times. What it was like watching Britney on stage, what it was like having Britney as her older sister. Britney cared, and the one thing I thought was extremely interesting was, besides the Zoey 101 stuff, which I will get to in a second, was Britney was like another mom to her. Her dad was in and out of her life a lot, but Britney was another mom to her. Britney basically took care of her. Not saying her mom didn't, because her mom did a lot. Britney basically was the one who took care of her, which I found very interesting because I didn't know that was the case. It was interesting from Jamie Lynn Spears' perspective, it was interesting to see all of her take on Britney being in show business and what it was like for Britney. It was funny. She also talked about what it was like being on All That, what it was like after All That, getting her Zoey 101 deal. It was also interesting because right before she got Zoey 101, she was on All That, and she talked about how when she was on tour with Britney, she always had a friend with her so she wouldn't be bored on set on Britney's tours. So one day, her and her friend created what is now Thelma Stump. Thelma Stump was named something else, and she and her friend always did like sketch comedy skits for the people whoever on Britney's tour with her. And the people from Nickelodeon saw it and wanted her to become on All That. And that's how she got All That. And it was very interesting because from what I've read is she always wanted to be a performer. She always wanted to be in the spotlight some way, whether it was just her being Britney's sister or her being in the spotlight herself. And like I said, it was very interesting to read that because I didn't know about that. And it was interesting to see in her perspective how it was on tour when she went on tour with Britney. Now, it was also interesting to read what her experience was like on All That. And when she ended being on All That, she was 13. She talked about All That a little bit. She mostly talked about Zoey 101. And she mentioned on Zoey 101 that she was 13 when she got on Zoey 101. And because that's when she finished doing All That. And from there, she got Zoey. And they moved. Her and her mother stayed in LA because Britney was on tour. But they got an apartment close to the set because they filmed it in Malibu for the first 3 seasons at a university. That's what they used PCA for. They did it at a university in California. And then one of the things that was really interesting was the girl who played Nicole on Zoey 101, her and Zoey apparently, from her and Jamie Lynn, from what I read, was that she didn't get along with her. She left after the 2nd season because she and Jamie Lynn apparently didn't get along, and she said she was being bullied by Jamie Lynn. And the other thing I found really interesting was that I don't know if she asked Britney to come to set, but Britney ended up coming to set and talking to Alexis Nichols, who was the girl who played Nicole Bristow on Zoey 101, and said, my sister isn't doing anything, X, Y, and Z, and that you shouldn't be treating her this way. You shouldn't say that she's doing this. All this stuff. And she always not only did she look at Britney as a mother, but she also looked at her as a big sister. And Britney was always so supportive of her career. She did come, it was funny, she made a guest appearance in Zoey 101 and they cut it. Because what I read was that, not that she didn't want to have Britney associated with the show, but that she wanted this to be her own thing, and she wanted to get her own fan base, and she wanted to do this herself without the help from family. She said Britney always came to set and saw her and watched them do episodes and shoot the episodes and stuff, but she wanted her own identity away from being Britney's sister, which I thought was very interesting. She talked about, of course, her teen pregnancy and getting pregnant. There's been so much controversy over the years of what actually happened and why Zoey 101 got canceled. It turned out to be that she wasn't pregnant when they were shooting Zoey 101. She got pregnant after the fact, which I had no idea. So that was information to learn. She said she was never pregnant while on the set of Zoey 101, and she got pregnant before the series ended, basically. So they shot the whole series. They had wrapped Zoey 101. They were no longer shooting Zoey 101. And that the final episodes of Zoey 101 hadn't aired yet when she got pregnant. So it was, and they didn't know if it was going to come back for a 5th season because none of the episodes had aired yet. So she couldn't say anything because she didn't want her reputation to be ruined by this. So she kept it a secret until after Zoey 101 finishing after the rest of the episodes got put on the air. And that was interesting because she said she couldn't tell anybody. She told her mom. The interesting part about that was she wrote her mom a note, put it in her bedroom, and then went downstairs and waited for her mom to come down. And that's how she told her mom she was pregnant. And it was interesting to read because while she was pregnant, her fiance at the time, Casey, was going through, apparently he had his own mental health struggles. She stated in the book that he was severely addicted to drugs, to alcohol, and he never had a real presence. He would disappear for days and not know where, and she said she would not know where he was. It was interesting because she was home when she found out. She and her friend, she couldn't go into a store to buy the test because she would have been seen and it would have been all over the internet. So she had somebody go buy it for her friend, and she was with her friend, and they pulled over and she took it in a gas station bathroom. But regardless, she then talked about her daughter's accident, and she then went on to talk about the reboot of Zoey. She didn't talk a lot about the potential reboot of Zoey, which I kind of wish she did, because I want to know more information about if it's actually happening, because nobody has any idea if it's actually happening. So I kind of wish she would have talked about it more. But overall, regardless, this book was really good. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. There's a documentary she did of When the Lights Go Out that talks about so much stuff. You can find it on YouTube. I will post a link of it down below in case anybody wants to watch it. But I would highly recommend this book. It's very good. So, wrap up of Jamie Lynn Spears' Things I Should Have Said. Like I mentioned, 5 out of 5 stars, a great book, very entertaining, very well written. I was looking forward to this book for ages. I'm so happy I read it. It was a fast read. The last few chapters I was having trouble finishing, only because it got a little slow, and I was having trouble finishing it, but once I got through those last few chapters, it just became fast-paced again. So it's very good. I would highly recommend it. I bought it signed, which is why I wanted to pay for it and spend $26 on it, because I wanted a signed copy. But if you like Jamie Lynn and you're not sure about the reviews, because there are mixed reviews about it on Goodreads. Some people say they loved it. Some people thought it was okay, and some people were like, this is not what I thought it would be. I would recommend maybe getting it out of the library first, from your local library, if they have a copy of it. She does narrate the audiobook, so if you want to get the audiobook, you can as well and listen to the audiobook. And then if you like it, then by all means, if you want to have a copy of it, you can get a copy yourself. But overall, this was really good. I loved it. It's not that long. It's about 226 pages, so it's not as long as it is, but you can read this in about 2 days. You can read it. It's a book you can read when you're traveling or just on a weekend, like on a Saturday to a Sunday. You could probably get it done in a weekend. You can read it if you're, depending on how fast you read, you could get it done while you're going to work, commuting, just want a good book to read for a weekend, you can do that. If you're traveling this summer, or now that it's getting nicer, or if you're going to the beach or wherever, you can bring this book and read it on the beach and read it during your vacation. I would highly recommend that. It's a basically all-round book that you can read anywhere, and it does not disappoint. Like I said, I loved it. It's funny now, I am really looking forward to reading. Britney is writing a book now, her memoir now too. So I am very interested to read what she has to say about this, because I'm sure she is going to mention Jamie Lynn's book in her book. So and all the controversy around that as well. So I'm very much looking forward to reading her perspective of what it was like having Jamie as a sister, and her perspective of growing up with Jamie Lynn and growing up being Britney and what it was like there. So that book I don't think is coming out until 2023 or 2024. I'm not sure on the date yet. But I'm looking forward to reading that as well. Alrighty, that was my review of Things I Should Have Said by Jamie Lynn Spears. Let me know your thoughts on it if you have any. And like I said, I will post the documentary of When the Lights Go Out in the description, so you can check it out if you want. And I will see you in another video soon. Goodbye.